Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Alex and this is The Car Creative, and in today's video we are going to be doing a first drive and review of the 2020 Porsche Cayenne Coupe. So let's do a quick walk around the vehicle. I'll show you all the details that are spec'd out on this specific vehicle, and then we'll also go for a drive and I'll tell you guys my experience with the Porsche brand, the interior, how it drives, and all of the functionality that you get with these amazing vehicles. So starting with the outside, you have this beautiful Dolomite silver metallic, and in the right light, it kind of gives you a little bit of a blue hint as well. The wheels are 21-inch RS Spider wheels, which I think look really, really nice, really sporty. They've also optioned this one with the gloss black door handles that match kind of the black trim around the windows, which I think is pretty slick. One thing that they've also optioned this with, which I'm a huge fan of, is soft closed doors. When you go to the inside, you do have a standard black leather interior. You've got brushed aluminum trim, and this model does get the premium package, which kind of gives you a few little extra things right out the go. This one in particular has a 14-way adjustable seat, which adds thigh and lumbar support compared to the basic 8-way seat. The Bose sound system. All Cayennes now come standard with LEDs, but you can get Porsche's dynamic lighting system. And the PDLS, it does kind of turn with you as you move the steering wheel, as well as it will look farther down the road as you adjust your speed. This one does come with comfort access, so you can keep the key in your pocket and just touch the door handle to enter the car and lock the car, as well as being able to use your foot underneath the trunk to kick it open. You also get a surround view camera. The rear view is standard, but the premium package gives you that surround view camera as well. They've added lane keep assist in this particular model as well, and all of those assists that you want can be turned on or off as you wish. The Cayenne Coupes come standard with the Sport Chrono package, but you can see the clock on this one has been spec'd out in a really nice Bordeaux red and matching Bordeaux red seatbelts as well. And you'll see it does come with a glass panoramic roof that goes all the way across. And the glass in this car is actually really cool. It's like a double paned glass. And when you're inside here and you roll the windows up, you really can't hear anyone. It's amazing. And the drive it's so quiet. You can also spec the back seats to be a 2x2 or a 2x1. So you can actually get 5 seats in the back, whereas some of them come with kind of like 2 seats in the back, and then the middle has this plastic little bit that you can put your phone in or something like that. And taking a look under the hood, it's powered by a 3-liter turbocharged V6, which boasts 335 horsepower and 332 pound-foot of torque, which is paired to an 8-speed Tiptronic S transmission. That's a lot of information to take in, and there's so many things that come stock on a Porsche that are just really amazing. So I'd love to actually just get in the vehicle with you and share my experience. This is actually the first modern Porsche that I've driven, and I'm personally really blown away with the user experience, how you feel in the car, how sporty it feels, even though it is a larger size SUV, as well as a lot of the comfort features that are in here naturally that maybe get overlooked by your average person. So when you get in the Porsche Cayenne Coupe, one thing you notice right away is this is still very much a sports car. The way the seating position is, the way it's adjustable, the way you fit in it, the way that it feels like sporty and aggressive, like with the handles, it's like, you know, you got to get ready to go fast. The Porsche steering wheel, in my opinion, doesn't really have any competitors. It's the way it feels, the way it encourages you to drive fast. The way that the gauges are set up in front of you is so intuitive. You obviously have intuitive things like the maps that you can get and navigation in front of you, but you can also have a little bit of fun by putting your G meters up there and see how fast you're cornering. And this thing does corner incredibly well for an SUV. I did personally find the infotainment system to be pretty intuitive, actually. I sat in the car for about 15 minutes setting up my cell phone, figuring out Apple CarPlay and that kind of stuff. One great thing as well is Apple CarPlay is wireless in this system, so you actually don't need to plug it into anything. It'll just naturally come up once you've got your Bluetooth set up and you have an Apple phone, of course. To that point, you only get USB-C plug-in. But I did find the infotainment system to be very intuitive. It was really quick to learn. The way that the screen feels is really nice. The way that it moves around, how smart it is, how fast it is. It's really high fidelity, so I've never really had any issues seeing it, even in bright sunlight. And I'm actually a huge fan of Apple CarPlay, but I've found myself with this system actually going back to Porsche's main infotainment system. I think it's just the way they have it laid out is really pretty, and all the information that you need is actually right there. And of course, it's customizable in a lot of ways. This is also the way that you can get into any of the cool car settings. So if you want to change from normal, Sport Plus, etc., change the start stop, open and close the spoiler. I'm not going to take it too deep of a dive in here, but I will encourage you that it is not hard to learn. It's very smart and it looks great as well. On your steering wheel, you have this really nice knob to change from normal mode, Sport Plus, and as well into your individual mode, which you can set up however you want. Now, this console right here, I love it. I really like it a lot. The way it feels, the way that the touches have all been set up, I think is so, so beautiful. The volume knob, the way that the dial just spins is so nice. And all the buttons are right here. Again, when I was sorting this out, it didn't take me very long at all to sort out which buttons were where. And they have this kind of nice clicking sound to them that kind of like affirms that you're pressing the button. And I don't know if that's actual feedback or haptic feedback, but it feels so nice. And then when you get a little bit lower here, so like to the heated seats or your suspension, you actually have to firmly press it. Whereas like up here, they feel more like touch kind of screen. These ones are actually firm buttons, and the feedback that they give you, the haptic feedback, just feels so intentional. I think at times us as, you know, car reviewers or people that really enjoy cars, the way that the world is moving so quickly, I think sometimes we forget to stop and recognize that someone engineered these very small bits to feel a certain way. Like for me, when I roll down this window, the way that the button clicks down here, the way it's smooth, the way it rolls off, the way it clicks, the sounds, someone engineered that intentionally. I think it's really easy for us to forget how these little things make such a huge difference in your experience every single day in your car. And for me, Porsche really did nail it on the head with kind of every detail, especially when sitting in the cockpit. Now you might think with the Cayenne Coupe that with the shorter roofline that you might lose space in the back. Well, in fact, you actually still have a ton of room back there. I'm 6'1", and they've lowered the back seats 2 inches down so that you're actually not losing any space, and it's still quite comfortable back there for even a larger guy. So I think that's enough of kind of the introductory to the cockpit. Let's get out on the road and I'll tell you a little bit how it feels to actually drive the Porsche Cayenne Coupe. Buckle up our Bordeaux red seatbelt. Pop this thing into drive, and we're off. Now I'm a big fan of Sports Plus mode, so we're just gonna hop in there right away and go for a bit of a cruise. Ooh, happy, I like it. Ooh. So that's 50% throttle, and it feels planted. I mean, obviously the suspension you can adjust to be whatever you want, but the steering just feels so fine. And once you kind of take that away, the car immediately just kind of sits a little nicer and just rolls over the bumps. But you put it into Sport Plus mode and it's like it hunkers down and says, okay, I'm ready to go. So you can actually tangibly feel that in the suspension. So as a driver, like in this seating position, it feels absolutely perfect. The telescopic steering wheel, which is automatic, can go anywhere you want it, and that paired with what is in this option of 14 Powerway adjustable seat really does allow you to sit yourself and position yourself however you really want to enjoy your drive. And it's probably one of the best seating positions I've ever been in. The way that you feel planted in here, like how this is elevated towards your armrest, this is all within range, the screen is all within range. It's just really beautifully put together, in my opinion. Oftentimes when you have something on display, you have to get something else off, but in this case, as a driver, you always have what drive mode you're in, what gear you're in, even if you're not shifting in manual mode, which you can quite easily drop the pedals down with these shifters here and let her rip. It's so fun. So it's 330 horsepower. Do a pretty good job for a decently heavy vehicle. Turning radius is really good. Feels great. Let's push it. Ooh, baby. Yep. That's a good time. Can't say that's not a good time. So of course, there are tons of comfort features in this vehicle, more than I can really go into, but the ones that are obvious and evident is your ambient lighting systems, the way that you enter and exit the car. You can set all these to be personalized for you. The Porsche logo, when you open the door, obviously is like beautifully displayed on the road for you. Their attention to detail in every aspect, and I mean, even the key that you have. The key fob is probably one of the coolest key fobs I've ever seen, and I don't know if there's other much fancier, probably rarer vehicles. Considering the tier that we're in here, I mean, that's a really special touch. And I think that that's something that you'll find throughout the Porsche brand, is that it just always has this special touch. Even going into their dealerships, you'll notice that everything is meticulously put together. The navigation is really easy and simple to use in this vehicle. For example, my gas light just came on and it suggested the nearest gas station. So you just hit the nearest one, tap go, and it'll bring you right there. One of my favorite things to play with is the G meter. It tells you how fast you're cornering, how fast you're accelerating, etc., and how many G's you're pulling one way or another. Bit of a gimmick maybe, but I really enjoy it and I think it's super fun. As well, you can get that full-size map on that entire right side, and then additionally you get all of your safety settings on the left side, and if you're using navigation, it comes up on your left side as well. It's also telling me what the speed limit is in this zone, so the navigation must be pretty intelligent, and it is telling you at all times where you are, how fast you should be going. It does have, when you're in normal mode, start and stop. I tend to turn that off. I find it to be a little bit annoying. Speaking of the G's, got a nice little on-ramp here, so maybe we can pop it back into Sport Plus and see how she goes. 0.2 G's, 0.3 G's, 0.4 G's, 0.5. Woo! Yeah, this thing does not feel like an SUV at all. This thing feels like a sports car, 100%. Just grips to that road, hit the apex, and you just push it out. It gives you such a confidence and a smile that when you're driving this thing that, you know, yeah, you're buying an SUV for the convenience and what you can put in it, but you're definitely not losing the sports car feel. You're not losing the excitement that you get from a sports car. You're very much in control of this vehicle. Nothing about it makes you feel like it's big and bulky and rolling around. Now, of course, it's probably seeming like I'm slightly biased towards the car. And to be honest, I've only really had it for the weekend. I've driven it quite a bit over that time. But the thing is, when you can't pinpoint or find things that you really don't like about a vehicle. I mean, there's tons of vehicles that you can do that right away with certain convenience features, or it doesn't have this or that option. I mean, a lot of the options that you can get in a Porsche are to personalize it and make it your very own car, but it really does have everything that you need for just being a daily driver, and then beyond that, it's spectacular. So all of this joy and optimism comes from nowhere else but just the passion and joy of actually driving a Porsche. And one last fantastic asset that you get with going with Porsche, or any really car brand, is that Porsche's designed an app called Roads by Porsche. So they actually encourage you to become a part of a community, take your cars out and drive these roads that they put on their app. If it's not already out already, I've been dropping a review on that app itself, and I inputted my own route in there, one that's kind of a classic near Calgary route, so feel free to go check that out. But guys, that is it for me. I do want to say a huge shout out again to Porsche Centre Calgary for allowing me to take out this Cayenne Coupe, and for teaching me how to say coupe, because coupes apparently are for chickens. So it took me a little bit to learn that. But there you go, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I do hope that you found this entertaining and insightful. If you did, please smash that like button for me. Feel free to subscribe and tap the bell so that you can get notified when I make more posts. And otherwise, I hope to see you in the next one.